Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. To live is the rarest thing in the world. Most people exist, that is all. Always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. I am so clever that sometimes I don't understand a single word of what I am saying. Likes. 44,789. If one cannot enjoy reading a book over and over again, there is no use in reading it at all. We are all in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars. The books that the world calls immoral are books that show the world its own shame. It is what you read when you don't have to that determines what you will be when you can't help it. The truth is rarely pure and never simple. Yes. I am a dreamer. For a dreamer is one who can only find his way by moonlight, and his punishment is that he sees the dawn before the rest of the world. Most people are other people. Their thoughts are someone else's opinions, their lives a mimicry, their passions a quotation. You will always be fond of me. I represent to you all the sins you never had the courage to commit. Anyone who lives within their means suffers from a lack of imagination. I am not young enough to know everything. Experience is merely the name men gave to their mistakes. You don't love someone for their looks, or their clothes, or for their fancy car, but because they sing a song only you can hear. Everything in the world is about sex except sex. Sex is about power. Man is least himself when he talks in his own person. Give him a mask, and he will tell you the truth. I never travel without my diary. One should always have something sensational to read in the train. With freedom, flowers, books, and the moon, who could not be perfectly happy? I don't want to be at the mercy of my emotions. I want to use them, to enjoy them, and to dominate them. Nowadays people know the price of everything and the value of nothing. Education is an admirable thing, but it is well to remember from time to time that nothing that is worth knowing can be taught. A cynic is a man who knows the price of everything, and the value of nothing. All women become like their mothers. That is their tragedy. No man does, and that is his. There is only one thing in the world worse than being talked about, and that is not being talked about. It is absurd to divide people into good and bad. People are either charming or tedious. Behind every exquisite thing that existed, there was something tragic. Children begin by loving their parents. As they grow older they judge them. Sometimes they forgive them. Selfishness is not living as one wishes to live. It is asking others to live as one wishes to live. When one is in love, one always begins by deceiving oneself, and one always ends by deceiving others. That is what the world calls a romance. Anybody can sympathize with the sufferings of a friend, but it requires a very fine nature to sympathize with a friend's success. Fashion is a form of ugliness so intolerable that we have to alter it every 6 months. After a good dinner one can forgive anybody, even one's own relations. Morality is simply the attitude we adopt towards people we personally dislike. Every portrait that is painted with feeling is a portrait of the artist, not of the sitter. How can a woman be expected to be happy with a man who insists on treating her as if she were a perfectly normal human being? There are only 2 kinds of people who are really fascinating. People who know absolutely everything, and people who know absolutely nothing. Nowadays, most people die of a sort of creeping common sense, and discover when it is too late that the only things one never regrets are one's mistakes. Live. Live the wonderful life that is in you. Let nothing be lost upon you. Be always searching for new sensations. Be afraid of nothing.